becomes completely happy. This is what making people in the material world miserable. Full of so much lust, full of so much desire, full of so much hankering, you know. How much, isn't it? How much does, well, ourselves are struggling still with these things, but, you know, how much does a materialistic person hanker for? You know, you asked him, what would you like? Well, I know. Well, I saw this the other day. I saw a magazine that says house in the country. Funny, you got to have that house in the country. Funny, I could live there. Funny, I had that house. You know. Funny, I had that house in the country. And, oh, funny, I was that rich. Oh, if only I was that famous. Oh, if only I was that famous. If only I was that beautiful, isn't it? If only I was that beautiful. So much desiring, but isn't it? But at some point, one begins to, isn't it? So generally, when people are young, they have all these desires, and I want to be this, and do this, and do that. But then after some point, it becomes quite obvious. No, if he's not going to get it, then it's just and it's just. So generally, you meet people, generally materialistic. We're materialistic persons as well, trying not to be, but persons that so much hankering for so much. Hankering, desiring so much, so full of lust, and so how can they possibly be peaceful? How can they possibly be happy? No peace, no happiness, completely impossible. They cannot even sit down in one place. If they sit down in one place and try and be peaceful, they're useless. So many desires. And some they try and, meditate to make out there's no desire and hankering. Fix their mind, try and keep the craving mind on one spot for a few seconds. Sit still mind, try and keep it still. And they sense for a few seconds on freedom. But only the devotee, only the bhakta, this is why only the bhakta can be on this stage, be completely happy. And then the next verse is, or something? Yeah. Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana Mukta Sanghashajayati. Thus establishing a mode of unalloyed goodness. So this is unalloyed goodness. This is the distinction between material good and unalloyed goodness. The man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service gains positive Vijnana, gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in a stage of liberation from all material association. So positive scientific knowledge. It's not theoretical. It's not theoretical. Krishna, give positive Vijnana, because positive give Krishna is revealing himself, revealing his name, form, qualities, and pathway even more. And this is the stage, and the next verse is Hridayagantish Chanti Shava Samshaya Krishanti Chaschakamani Prishta Evam Manishvare. There's very nice verses to learn. You should spend some time learning them. And if you have learned them, forgotten, it's good to revise them. Very nice. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruit of actions is terminated when one sees the self as master. Because the chain and knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The self, is that no, the purple, is that the supreme self, or is that the jiva, or is that Krishna? One sees the self as master. And we have to read into it a bit. But one sees, in other words, Krishna is our master, and also one is in control of their senses. Their senses are purified. So the verse, in this series of verses, finishes nicely here. It's almost like then, after these verses, it's like a declaration. Certainly, therefore, since time immemorial, all transcendentalists have been rendering devotional service to Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, with great delight, because such devotional service is enlivening to the self. Read that again. Certainly, therefore, since time immemorial, all transcendentalists have been rendering service to Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, with great delight, because such devotional service is enlivening to the self. Yeah. Just reminding Buddha, there's some verses that describe that unless one comes to this stage and one is more or less killing one's own soul. It's like Atmaha, one's more a butcher. If one doesn't have a butcher, as a butcher, one's killing one's own soul. Anyway, so we'll stop there. Some points to meditate upon. It's a wonderful purport by Srila Prabhupada. We've gone over 5 minutes, so perhaps we won't ask the questions. Wonderful, we can read over it. Time. We'll stop there. Kantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.
His Grace Murli Manohara Prabhu Ki.
Jai.